Greetings, good gentles. I'm Hilla Stormbringer, the event steward of the first and second Ethereal Bardic Symposiums. While the concert you're about to watch has been shown in individual performances before, this is the first time it has been shown as one unified concert since the night it originally occurred. 22 performers from across the known world came together to give us some of the best performances the SEA has to offer. Singing and storytelling. It's just an amazing night. But little did any of us know that behind these peaceful visages, behind these golden voices and silver tongues, were the cunning minds that would spark, foment, and begin the first Bardic War. So, without further ado, I would like to present to you the Journeyman's Concert, or, as it has come to be known as, the concert that started a war.
We assembled that April morn in the coldness and the dew. Our armor and our weapons gleamed as we waited there for you. We bore your banner to the field. There was laughter in your face. You spoke some gentle words to us, and then you took your place. Ooh, 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 ooh. We assembled that April morn, far away from home and kin, standing restless as we waited for the battle to begin. And every warrior spoke your name as every blade did fall. The din of battle filled the air. You stood bravely through it all. Ooh. We assembled that April morn, and we fought for you that day, with honor and with chivalry, more than any song might say. And round the fire we sang a song for the lady we had seen. So far and wide the world would know how the mid-realm loves its queen. Ooh, ooh,
Thanks very much. You are all very kind. Thank you.
Just 17 summers and the boy becomes a man, old enough to make his way to war. Lost among the chaos and the din of battles clash. Who to follow, who will he fight for? There among the colors of the green and red and blue, a shining pennant of a golden rose. The Queen's own voice rings clearly to all on bended knee. You follow it no matter where it goes. The banners may fade, swords may grow dull. Glory is not what it seems. Just one more breath as my eyes they grow dim. I still remember the Queen, still follow her banner in my dream. 20 summers longer and a night now takes the field. The bloom of youth is long forgotten now. Stalwart blade and iron shield burst into the fray. Fearsome might held steady by a vow. The banner offers comfort, purpose to the deed. The foemen fall like wheat before the scythe. The banner marches onward, and the Queen's words still ring true. He follows all the long days of his life. The banners may fade, swords may grow dull. Glory is not what it seems. Just one more breath as my eyes they grow dim. I still remember the Queen, still follow her banner in my dream. 30 summers longer and an old man rides to war. The young page as companion can be seen. The knight has one last lesson before the boy becomes a man. We all follow the banner of the Queen. Just 17 summers and the boy becomes a man, old enough to make his way to war. Lost among the chaos and the din of battles clash. He knows who he'll be fighting for. The banners may fade, swords may grow dull. Glory is not what it seems. Just one more breath as my eyes they grow dim. I still remember the Queen, still follow her banner in my dream. I still remember the Queen, still follow her banner in my dream.
So I'll take up the knife in my right hand, better than tears on my face. I'll call all my sisters to fight for my men, no matter the time or the place. I'll chase you across the wide ocean's way to any isle that you may be. I'll make you remember your promises made to all Ulstermen and to me. Salmon leap lover, my killer of men, did you forget now those words you said then? I've borne all the whispers 1,000 packed hen, but this time you go too far. I nursed you in sickness, I begged for your life, and now you have taken a fairy to wife. This feeling inside me, it twists like a knife, and now I know who you are. So I'll take up the knife in my right hand, better than tears on my face. I'll call all my sisters to fight for my men, no matter the time or the place. I'll chase you across the wide ocean's way to any isle that you may be. I'll make you remember your promises made to all Ulstermen and to me. Is it that I haven't birthed you a son, or is it a goddess's war to be won? I do not shine so much as when I was young, but my wits will never fade. I see now the island where you and she lie, though I am not ready to make someone die. Instead, I will steal back your leash and will fly away from that temptress's glade. And I'll take up the knife in my right hand, better than tears on my face. I'll call all my sisters to fight for my men, no matter the time or the place. I'll chase you across the wide ocean's way to any isle that you may be. I'll make you remember your promises made to all Ulstermen and to me. I see you now holding her heart in your palm. Likewise, I see how she makes you stand tall. The fire that made my father's house fall burns for another now. She too has a husband of horses and seas. A god says he's sorry for what we have seen. His stride is the ocean, his cloak is the breeze, and now we are homeward bound. But I still have my knife in my right hand, bitter salt tears on my face. My sisters and I sail back with my man to our own warm fireplace. I loved you and lost you to Fawn's bright eyes, although I cannot recall how. The chaos news tightens, the sun will still rise, but you are still mine for now.
That was lovely.
Glorious.
Thank you.
I come to you tonight bearing a tale that I have been told whilst sitting about and waiting for the great pestilences to pass, one by one, and Mr. Chaucer. Hast thou heard of Chaucer? He has some amazing tales. You see, there was one of a wife of Bath. A version of it I do recall, and I would love to share with thee this night, if you would entertain me so. I shall begin my tale. Once there was a court, and within the court there was a king, and the king had a wise queen. He had knights who are noble and fair, but were mortal, and prone to the faults that all mortals are. One day, whilst in the hall, there was a noise, a sound, and it rang out, oh so gloriously, a slap and a scream and a sob. The queen paused in the silence and looked toward the back of the hall, and there stood one of His Majesty's knights, with his hand to his reddening face, and a small young lady standing there, indignant, red-faced, quivering, tears going down her cheek. "Come to me, my maid," said the queen. And as murmurs began, the queen just held up her hand and she said, "Shh, I did not ask for any of thee to speak. Come to me, my maid." The young girl went to the front of the hall. She bowed deeply before her queen. Shaking, she held her shoulders back and took a deep breath. "Why hast thou hit one of my lord's knights? A better." Silence. And then a voice strong and sure, clear, despite tears on cheeks, tiny shoulders straight, said, "He dared take a kiss, he dared take a touch, and I have done what I have been taught by my good mother, good father, and all those around, that should one reach out to a maiden, she hath the right to preserve that which she holds dear." There was a gasp in the court. It was known that this knight was attracted to many a pretty face. The accusation seemed truthful, but what to do? He was a knight, this was a maid, nothing horrible had happened, some murmured, and then the queen silenced them. "I did not ask for the hall to speak." She turned to her lord the king and she said, "How wilt thou handle this?" The king was now in a very uncomfortable position. His knight had not behaved in a manner most chivalrous. His queen was giving him a look that scared him more than any army he had ever faced in all his career. And the maiden, her strength, it glowed. Such prowess of word he had not seen in many a year. Wise as the king was, he turned to his queen and said, "What wouldst thou havest me do, my queen? I am at thy bidding. I feel that I will send your knight on a quest to regain the term knight, and he shall go as a pilgrim, with nothing more than his shirt and trouser, unto the land, with nothing, no name, and he must find me one thing. He must come back to me 1 year and a day hence and tell me what it is that a woman desireth most." The knight turned. He removed his regalia, clattering to the silent floor, and walked from the hall to begin his pilgrimage. He knew he had committed wrong. Queen then turned to the young maid and said, "And for you, my dear, I shall elevate you to be one of my ladies." And she turned to those gathered behind her and said, "Take this poor one, bathe her, dress her, and give her a spot among those I esteem greatly." The maid left the hall, and so court life continued, but not for the knight. The knight traveled in the jeery world. He went from town to city to farmhouse, and he'd ask every maiden he met, yet this time with reluctance, not wanting to frighten them, fearful of what other would befall him should he fall further. And he would say unto them, "What is it that a maid doth desire most? For I am on a quest by my queen to find this." So the young maids would sometimes say, "A husband, my lord, a husband." And the mothers would say, "Sleep, my lord. I wish for some sleep." The old crone said, "I wish for the knowledge I had now when I was younger." Some wanted dresses, some wanted better lovers, some wanted the sheep to have more little lambs. The things that they said were so varied as the women themselves. Time had passed, and close to a year and a day had gone. And so good Sir Knight, no more, tried to find his way back to the kingdom. Whilst there, he heard crying in the brush, and he looked and saw a woman with hair matted and tangled, and lice worming and squirming, and she smelled as the midden itself, and she looked to him and said, "I have fallen and hurt my ankle. Wilt thou carry me to yonder castle?" The knight, who wasn't right now, knew he had to do. She then looked at him and said, I have heard of your quest, and I know the answer. If you carry me hence, I will tell the queen the answer, but you must promise to marry me if I have it right. The knight had no options. Perhaps by showing mercy to this wretched hag, even if he didn't have the right answer, he could still regain his part. So he scooped her up, gagging at her smell, wincing at her lice, and carried her nobly into the castle. And into the great hall he did walk. Silence again fell, and the queen looked up, amused. Carry me forth to the queen, said the hag, through the gaps in her teeth. The knight swallowed. The stench was noticeable. He carried the woman forth and set her down before the queen. He then bowed. Hast thou my answer? Or have you no more than this hag and riches of my lands? Said the queen. I do have my answer. Dear lady, who I have rescued most graciously on the road, wouldst thou tell the queen the answer I gave thee? The hag looked toward the queen. What a woman wants most is dominion over her mind, her body, and her soul. The queen smiled. And now I am to be married, said the hag. There was a pause in the court. Some laughed. The knight grew pale. Oh, said the queen. Yes, you see, yonder knight did promise me that if I could help him with his quest, he would wed me. And now that he is a knight, I know I shall also rise to his station accordingly. The queen, a woman of her word, gestured to her ladies' maids, one of among them the young maid before. The hag was bathed and better smelled, and the lice was picked away, and she was put into a fine gown, and they were married straight away that meal, and so with that night. The knight, who felt there was not enough wine he could drink for which to do the duty before him, came to his marriage bed, and there, upon the sheets, lay a beautiful, shapely woman with beautiful chestnut tresses dripping down and covering her. He was greatly aroused, but he was married. Fie, this is a test from the queen yet again. No, said the woman. I am the very same hag that you did pick up by the road. The road? Yes, and I would ask you, would you have me be beautiful by night and share this bed, or beautiful by day and a hag by night? The knight knew not what to say. He realized that this was a task too great for him to choose, and he remembered her words. What would you choose for your body, my lady? And at that she remained beautiful, and both lived wiser in the court of the queen. Thank you.
Good.
I am the youngest lass of a lord of Ireland, and all its graces never knew by this age I would have gone through all of life's paces. I ask not for pity nor pardon for all the tears and scars my life has known. I sing only for a love in exile, in a land where I cannot go. I grew up walking on the game trails of stag and boar, and caring for the land on which my family was born. Many sunsets have I seen, or rains when the whole sky fell down. All were distant memories on the day when I first saw Liatha. Such a power in those pale green eyes I saw, and kindness too, like Ireland's hills in spring. The matters on my mind would vanish swift when she said anything. Oh, countless nights we passed, talking by her cot's fire, safe and warm, or days of shepherding in swollen fields with all their own charm. Such a rare beauty, the peaceful rolling tide at twilight, with the grace she wore each time she smiled and came into my sight. I was not the only one who noticed her. Two lads would come a-calling near every day. In their hearts there was dark fire that I could see when she turned them both away. I ask not for pity nor pardon for all the tears and scars my life has known. I sing only for a love in exile, in a land where I cannot go. They would not be denied. They, the sons of fathers, liege lord, if they could not have her, they'd make it so. No other Isleman could. Accused of witchcraft, entrancing these men into her bed, Oran would not cry at the lies they to their father fed. On one such deep night they spoke of, she and I had laughed till dawn's light, but he would not hear the truth, my plea so pure, and our hearts lost that fight. Something close inside broke when they sent us both away. The same thing that cries with every breath when I think about that day. In restless dreams I see her hands deftly weaving by hearthstone, my waking wish to hold them in mine, never more to be alone. May you learn from my tale a lesson dear, as timeless as the green of Ireland. Deny love not an hour, nor precious breath, and never leave words unspoken. Ask not for pity nor pardon for all the tears and scars your life will know. Ask only for a love that makes the miles not matter when you're home.
Beautiful.
Two.
There were three mates come out of the west, their fortunes for to try. And these three mates took a solemn vow, John Barleycorn must die. They plowed, they sowed, they harrowed him in, threw clods upon his head. And these three mates took a solemn vow, John Barleycorn was dead. They let him lie for a very long time, till the rain from heaven did fall. And little Sir John sprung up his head, and so amazed them all. They let him stand till midsummer, till he looked both pale and wan. Then little Sir John growed a very long beard, and so became a man. They hired men with the scythe so sharp to cut him at the knee. They rolled him and tied him about the waist and served him barbarously. They hired men with the sharp pitchforks to prick him to the heart. And the loader, he served him worse than that, for he's bound him to a cart. They wheeled him around and around the field till they came into a barn. And there they made a solemn mow of port on Barleycorn. They hired men with the crabtree sticks to cut him skin from bone. And the miller, he served him worst of all, for he's crowned him between two stones. Here's little Sir John in a nut brown bowl and brandy in a glass. And little Sir John in the nut brown bowl proved the stronger man at the last. For the huntsman, he can't hunt the fox, nor loudly blow his horn. And the king, he cannot hold his court without John Barleycorn. And the king, he cannot hold his court without John Barleycorn. Well, we missed a certain major event this past year, but it also means we missed something else that goes along with it. One evening as the sun went down and the final fires was burning, down the road came a gentle noble, and he said, I'll be returning. I'm headed for the town run far away, and the days till then I'm counting. But before I'm seen, I'll have to clean the Penzic Laundry Mountain. Now the Penzic Laundry Mountain, where the clothes are foul and damp, and the fungus grows unbidden while the mildew waits its chance, where the cats refuse to enter and the dog rolls all around. On the braes and the hose and the muddy wet clothes, the malodorous air of the underwear in the Penzic Laundry Mountain. In the Penzic Laundry Mountain, all the hems have gruesome spots, and the linen looks like mohair, and it gurgles as it rots. The scrip is full of something that smells like rotten eggs. Oh, don't make me go to that woven mow where the stench begins and there's no upwind in the Penzic Laundry Mountain. In the Penzic Laundry Mountain, there's mounds of single socks, some streaming wet with something foul and some as hard as rocks. The crusted doublets tip their hats, the bog dress curtsies low. There's a lake of goo and black mud too, you can paddle all around in a big canoe in the Penzic Laundry Mountain. In the Penzic Laundry Mountain, where the foothills grow all day, and you can't help to contain it, 'cause the baskets melt away. I'll girt my sleeves and grip my loins and coat myself with oil, and I'll dive right into that noisome bin. I'll take a knee to the Lord Febreze in the Penzic Laundry Mountain, and I'll see you all if I do not fall to the Penzic Laundry Mountain. Woo!
We can tell by the way you're walking, you're a wee wary of what's in store. You've heard all the stories of battles and glory, but you're hoping it's all that and more. Strangers welcome you in at the toll gate. Your medallion gets you out the door. You've a campsite to find and it's blowing your mind, and we call it the Pensic War. And we can tell by the way you're talking, you're unused to milady and lord. But you'll give it a try with a shrug and a sigh, and a bow with a flourishing sword. You set out with the Pensic you schedule, crammed with classes from morning till 4. Then you trudge back to camp, find some food and a lamp, and the bog down at Pensic War. And we can tell by your startled expression you were not expecting to hear your name in the throat of a herald at court as he summons you forth in your fear. And you huddle with others just like you who have never been in court before. And the queen of the land puts a mug in your hand, and she welcomes you to Pensic War. We can tell by the way that you are limping that the bootmaker will be your friend. There's a look of pale fright, but you're itching to fight when the roar of the battle descends. There are cannons and drums and siege engines, and you're cheering like never before to see foes hug their friends and then fight 'em again. Resurrect, it's the Pensic War. And we can tell by the way you're swaying to the songs and the drums in the night that you've let go your fears and you're comfortable here under stars and the glow of firelight. And you're sunburned and aching and weary, but you stay awake just wanting more, till the sense in your head leads your feet to your bed. Dawn comes early at Pensic War. And we can tell by the way you're standing with your eyes overflowing with tears. It was habit alone that kept you from your home, but you now know your home is right here. When you feel that it's all overwhelming, you're a boat navigating new shores. You were scanning the night for a friend with a light, and you landed at Pensic War, where the people who love you are gathered, lifting pints at the Drunken Duck Bar. Peace and war weeks are done, though we've barely begun to have fun at the Pensic War. But your new and old friends will return here in 1 year from the town run before. When we look back and say those were halcyon days, we're talking about Pensic War. Oh, we're talking about Pensic War.
This is the story of Caedmon the Cowherd. Caedmon the Cowherd was a simple man. He liked to spend his time with the cows, the pigs, and the sheep. And though he was a simple man, he was also a wise man. But most of his wisdom was kept to himself. However, Caedmon, like many men, loved a good party. And so one night, we find him in the mead hall, enjoying his drink and the food. But down the hall, Caedmon saw the lyre. And the lyre was coming closer and closer. It was getting passed around. Closer and closer. And Caedmon did what a wise man would do. He fled. For Caedmon was no performer. And he fled to the stables with the cows and the pigs and the sheep, where he felt safe. And he fell asleep in the hay. But as he was sleeping, a vision came to him. And the vision said, "Caedmon, sing." "I cannot sing. I am a simple man of simple things. I cannot sing." "Caedmon, sing." If you didn't notice, dear vision, I fled a mead hall tonight to avoid that very specific thing. I cannot sing. Caedmon, you will sing. And Caedmon, although a simple man, was also a wise man, and he knew better than to turn down a vision more than 3 times. And so he said, "Fine, vision. What shall I sing?" "Caedmon, sing of creation." And so in words that you will understand, this is what Caedmon sang. "Now we shall worship the Warden of Heaven, the Maker's might and his mind, the works of the Wonder Father, for wondrously he strove, that ceaseless King, creating the incipit. In this beginning he established earth for his children, made heaven a roof, a holy creator. Thus the middle kingdom, by mankind's caretaker, the ceaseless King, was founded as firmament for his children. O Lord Almighty." But Caedmon had no lyre, and Caedmon was not ordered to recite verse. Caedmon was ordered to sing. And though that tune has been lost to time, Caedmon was a kinsman of mine, and so I know the tune that he sang, and in the language that he and I shared, this is what he sang. Nu shulon herian, evan riches wed, Methodus miechte and his moja thonk. We are colder father, swai undra je was, richten after teadat. Heares sheop, Æthelmearc, Evan to grove, heilig schupend. The middenjaard, mon kunes werd, richten after teada, virum folden, freya almichtig.
was considering what it would be like to take the longest standing, the oldest pilgrimage in Christendom, which is the pilgrimage of Santiago de Compostela, also known as El Camino. And it goes to the village of Santiago, and this is a piece called The Road to Santiago. And I will take the road to Santiago, a humble pilgrim shall I be. Shall to mark my passage is the wage that I will earn, so to Compostela shall I go. I am a simple man of minor craft and skill, with a lifetime of deed and thought and word. A pilgrim shall I be, and journey forth shall I to St. James, that my prayers may be heard. And I shall take the road to Santiago, a humble pilgrim shall I be. The shell to mark my passage is the wage that I will earn, so to Compostela shall I go. I've traveled forth from Arles through Toulouse and Oloron. How long this journey takes I do not know. Though highwaymen abound, and dangers there will be, on the path of St. James shall I go. And I will take the road to Santiago, a humble pilgrim shall I be. Shall to mark my passage is the wage that I will earn, so to Compostela shall I go. Before me now does stand the Cathedral of St. James. On the pillar I have placed my hand. My pilgrimage is done, penance has been earned. I will live my life a pious, honest man, and I shall take the road to Santiago. A humble pilgrim will I be. The shell to mark my passage is the wage that I will earn, so to Compostela shall I go, and so to Compostela shall I go. Thank you. The other tune I'm going to offer you this evening is one that I wrote earlier this year when I needed some inspiration on a journey that I'm taking. And it is for anyone who has ever walked the path to peerage in any form, be you a peer of any right, or be you a student, a protege, an apprentice. And that journey is personal for everyone, and this is a song that reflects on it. It's called The Path. Teach me, for I would learn. I wish to be like you. The peerest, why would you seek such a thing to do? To be better at my craft, for title and for fame, respect and honor I can claim. Oh, the road is long and the journey hard, and burden is what you seek. I don't understand, oh you will. Own your heart and skill if you wish to grow. Thus can you teach others all that you know. Set your knowledge free and help the others learn. For what you seek may not be what you earn. For the road is long and the journey hard, and burden is what you seek. I don't understand, then you will. Time marches on, and skill and fame do grow. Others seek to learn what the student does know. This journey makes me doubt myself every single day. You're on the path and you must make your way. For the road is long and the journey hard, and the burden is what you seek. I begin to understand, and you will. The vigil that is set and youthful pride is gone. The burden to share and shape and grow is now my own. My teacher smiles, show them and teach them without fear. For I say to you, you are now my peer. And the road was long and the journey hard, and the burden I gladly own. Now I understand. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here's to Valhalla, home of the best who love battle and feasting, sport better than rest, and who waken each morning prepared for the test when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. So here come, taste of the revel so near, found just on the far side of fear. Rise, lend us your spear when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. And here's to the Valkyrie maidens who gather the hosts of the slain, and drink with us nightly, then join us at dawn as we cross swords on night of all plain. And here's to our grubby-faced cook, his steaks and his roasts and his grease-dripping pies, who slaughter Ciaran near the magical boar, who comes back to life daily to feed us once more, when we've filled up our mornings with fighting and falling and feast again after we rise. So here's to Valhalla, home of the best who love battle and feasting, sport better than rest, and who waken each morning prepared for the test when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. So here come, taste of the revel so near, found just on the far side of fear. Rise, lend us your spear when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. And here is to bountiful Heidrun, the goat with the udders of mead, that free-flowing fountain that gives us as much as our 400,000 men need. And we all know that Jotuns are stupid, but they do show a glimmer of hope, for they scheme to steal Mjolnir, the sun and the moon, fair Freya and Idun's gold apples of youth, but they know we won't rest till all Jotunheim shatters if they harm a hair on that goat. So here's to Valhalla, home of the best who love battle and feasting, sport better than rest, and who waken each morning prepared for the test when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. So here come, taste of the revel so near, found just on the far side of fear. Rise, lend us your spear when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. And here's to the golden comb cock that wakes us anew every dawn, expels the temptations of revels and sleep, and makes sure we rise ready and strong. And here's to his sooty red brother, who waits on the rafters of hell, and watches in silence each dawn and each dusk, as the traitors and oath-breakers stream as they must to a hall where the hungry years blur into black, with no light and no cockcrow to tell. But a dawn will come when sooty red answers and all bonds break and the monsters arise, and Heimdall watchman will hear the hounds howl and his Ealawynn will cry. And since neither side will live to remember the greatest feats that will ever be done, the memories leak in prophecies backward so every age can know. Why we wait and watch and feast and fight and cheer, 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 cheer. Here's to Valhalla, home of the best who love battle and feasting sport better than rest, and who waken each morning prepared for the test when the golden cock crows from Valhalla. So here come, taste of the revel so near, found just on the far side of fear. Rise and lend us your spear when the golden cock crows and the sooty red answers and monsters arise. The All-Father rallies, Valhalla, Valhalla, Valhalla. Thank you.
Right.
Can she excuse my wrongs with virtue's cloak? Shall I call her good when she proves unkind? Are those clear fires which vanish into smoke? Must I praise the leaves where no fruit I find? No, no, where shadows do for bodies stand. Thou mayst be abused if thy sight be dim. Cold love is like to words written on sand, or to bubbles which on the water swim. Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not o'ercome her, will thy love be thus fruitless ever? Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not o'ercome her, will thy love be thus fruitless ever? Was I so base that I might not aspire unto those high joys which she holds from me? As they are high, so high is my desire. If she this deny, what can granted be? If she will see that which reason is, it is reason's will that love should be just. Dear, make me happy now by granting this, or cut off delays if that I die must. Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented. Dear, but remember it was I who for the sake did die contented. Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented. Dear, but remember it was I who for the sake did die contented. Thank you. Once again, here it is, I stand in this hall with my harp in hand, and the queen calls out, come rhyme or play a tune. That's my leave, so a song I start, my strings weaving the minstrel's art in the odd blue light, but without stars or moon. When I finish, they all drink deep. Feels like days since I last knew sleep. Then she waves me off, my feasting seat I find. Only touch what is on my plate. Speak with no one, for that's my fate. These are not my kin. I know they're not my kind. I must be silent as I live among the Fae. I must be patient
As I serve these years away, though I hark for the whole, still I never can be heard. Though I sing to the host, still I cannot speak a word. I think back to the Ealawynn tree, where the strange lady came to me. There were silver bells hung from her horse's mane. Queen of Hen, I called her then. Thomas, no, you must guess again. Next to her, all women of this earth seemed plain. I, good rhymer of Elfland's queen, I must warn you that if you're keen for a kiss, your body follows. Do you dare? I leaned in, didn't count the cost, my head swimming, my senses lost, and she smiled because she had me in her snare. You must be silent, and my lips you shall obey. You must be patient, 7 years you've kissed away. You're a minstrel, I know, but on earth you won't be heard. You belong to me, rhymer, and I'll have not a word. On her horse did we then descend to a cavern that had no end. Through a pitch black sea I held on tight for days. We alight in an orchard strange. I look round as the seasons change. There is golden fruit I spy through hunger's haze. Thomas, that's not for you to eat. But my lady, it smells so sweet. That was Adam's folly. Would you lose your soul? I've a basket of bread and wine, mortal food that is safe to dine. Then we're off at last to Elfland and our goal. You must be silent, for your tongue's the price you pay. You must be patient, 7 years and a day. You will sing for the whole, only then shall you be heard. Answer only to me, to all else, speak not a word. So her weird, I may not dispute. I, the rhymer, must play the mute in the songs and tales. I've not heard such a doom. Now upon me the fairy court, bright or hideous, tall and short, when they tease and pry, I'm silent as the tomb. They hunt mortals to play their games, drawn to us like a moth to flames. They ignore me now, as if I were a hound. With closed lips and open ears, with no measure to count the years, learning secrets while I cannot make a sound. I must be silent, for it is my price to pay. I must be patient as I serve my life away. Oh, they wish me no harm, but it chafes cannot be heard. Oh, the things I could tell them if I could speak a word. We arrive, is the journey done? In the orchard where we'd begun, then she plucks an apple and lets out a sigh. 7 years, Thomas, you've been true. Now you've earned what I kept from you. Have a taste and know the tongue that cannot lie. This is how you would say farewell. Bind my tongue in a lifelong spell, like a deadly blade. I think this fate is worse. You'll accept the reward I've planned. Eat it now, heed your queen's command. As I take a bite, she leaves me with my curse. I must be silent, for I fear what I may say. I must be patient, for I've been so long away. I have marvels to tell, but my tale cannot be heard. I can speak only truth, and they won't believe a word. I shall be silent, taking care in what I say. I shall be patient as I find my part to play. I can see every truth, choosing how to make it heard. In my silence I learned there is power in every word.
Speak not to me of holy grails of knights and pageantry. For without me there are no tales, but no honor came to me. Through no fault of mine I love to mend, at Tintagel by the sea. Still death took them both too soon, and no more love came to me. The goal while I bore fair daughters three, all fated to be queen. But Morgan was wont to evil deed by Merlin's prophecy. To Uther I bore a shining son, as a babe taken from me. With him Camelot rose and fell, again death took him from me. So speak not to me of holy grails of night and pageantry, for I am Egran, I bore it all, and no more is said of me. I will be firm and I will be true, I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some walk paths paved with gold, power is bought and power is sold, and people are things to be claimed. But I will be firm and I will be true, I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some march paths forged with might, the power of force is always right, and people are brutes to be tamed. But I will be firm and I will be true, I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some men's paths painted with words, power is in truth's broken shard, and people are sheep to be blamed. But I will be firm and I will be true, I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Come, my path is bound with love and truth, power protects the old and the youth, and people are friends to be named. For we will be firm and we will be true, we will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Come join the path of charity, power is shared to make all free, and people have worth all the same. For we will be firm and we will be true, we will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall.
Oh,
Evat.
As bards, part of our duties are to pass along the traditions, the tales and words not just of our own lips and of the current day, but the words of days and bards long past and long gone. The words of courage and bravery, the sacrifice of our forebearers, we honor them and their history. This piece was first spun not by me nor by any of my ancestors in Ayr, but by their good cousin in Wales, more than 1,000 years hence and gone. To honor the Gododdin, the worthiest and best of their fighters, wrought by the master poet in the most gorgeous of languages, Welsh, and arranged for you in our common tongue by the work of my own two hands. Hanwe Gododdin, Aneurin I Cant. Hanwe Gododdin, Siobhan Anu Cani. This is the Gododdin, Aneurin's master song. This is the Gododdin. Siobhan sings it now. I Gododdin, heroes of Wales, come forth. Defend your land from Saesneg dictum. Men came to Caertraeth, they were renowned. Wine and mead and gold cups was their drink. A year in noble ceremonial spent 3 men and 300 and 300, all wearing the golden torques. But of all those who charged, after much revelling, only 3 won free through courage and strife. The Warhound of Erin, Kenan the Dauntless, and myself, drenched in blood, for the sake of my song. Splendid the song. Underfoot for a while, my knee is stretched, my hands bound in an earthen house, with an iron band round my 2 knees. Yet of the meat of the horn and the men of Caertraeth, I, Aneurin, will compose, as Taliesin knows, an elaborate song or strain to Gododdin before the dawn of the brightest day. Splendid the song. A war band there was, soldiers surrounding Caertraeth made war. Bloody motley, trampled, trod on, warriors, trod on, vengeance, Mead's wages for corpses, though great was the cost. Splendid the song, bright the war band that, after fatal impulse, filled Erin. Their hands satisfied the mouths of brown eagles and made feasts for beasts of prey. For Manavag's sake, ruler of men, they set themselves against hostile spears. Before Caertraeth, keen were the gold-torqued men. They thrust, they slaughtered those who stood firm. Early they rose, at the dawning. There was a conflict at the Aber in front of the course. The pass and the knoll were ablaze. Like a boar, they charged the hill. Courteous, grave, savage were the dark spear shafts. Early they rose, at matins. After kindling a fire at the Aber in front of the fence, the warriors charged in a band. In the lead, leading, following before hundreds, the first charge was as eager for the slaughter as for the drinking of wine and mead. With a fierce and impetuous stroke the sword, how irresistible was he when he would kill the foe. Would that his equal could be found. No cowards could bear the hall's uproar like a fire that rages when kindled. On Tuesday, they donned the dark armor. On Wednesday, they polished enameled armor. On Thursday, terms were agreed on. On Friday, fearless, they fought as one. On Saturday, carnage all around. On Sunday, waist-deep the blood. After defeat, Gododdin say, before Manag's tent on his return, there came but one man in 100. Manag of the impregnable strand of Gododdin. Manag, for him our cheeks are sad. Before the raging flame of Eileann, he turned not aside. He stationed men of firmness in the entrance, formed a wall in the van. Vigorously he descended upon the furious foe. He caused devastation and sustained great weight. Yet of Manavag's warband there returned but a single blade, bitter, dripping. Men launched the assault, moving as one. Short were their lives, made drunk by pure mead. Manavag's warband, renowned in battle. For a feast of mead, they gave their lives. Ruadh and Maddog, Poith and Æthelmearc, Gwigan, Gwian, Gwyn and Cyffon, steel-weaponed Peredor, Gerdwr and Athan, a warband steadfast in battle, shield shattered. But though they were being slain, they slew. Not one to his own home returned. Men launched the assault. Together were they regaled that year over mead, and how great was their design. How sad the tale, the insatiable Hiraeth, the longing, how bitter their homes, no child to cherish it, how long the grief for them, the mourning. For ardent men of wine-nourished lands, renowned Manavog's feast was fashioned. But its cost, the Battle of Caedmony.
Woo! Amazing, amazing.
Thank you so much.
Wow, splendid.
There was once a merry band of dancers who loved nothing more than to sing and play, even on the Lord's own day. And there was a priest in the town of Colbeck, and he tried to say mass, but he could not be heard over the merriment and revelry outside. And he went outside and he scolded those dancers and said, "You must be silent. Better yet, come into the church for your own salvation." And the dancers laughed at him and ignored him. Now the priest had a beautiful daughter, and the leader of these dancers thought she should be with us. And so they coaxed her, and eventually she came. And she danced with them, and they taught her their dances, and they taught her their songs, and to all join hands and sing, "Why should we be still? Why shouldn't we go on?" And as it happened, on Christmas Day itself, these dancers were out making merry, and the priest was inside, and he heard them singing and dancing, and he was sore wroth, and he prayed to God to curse those dancers, that they should be forced to dance non-ceasing for an entire year. And so it was. And convinced that they would now learn their lesson, he looked about and he realized his daughter was not in the congregation. So he sent his son out to fetch his daughter. And when the young man went out, he saw to his horror that his sister was among the dancers. And he grabbed her arm, and he pulled and he yanked, but he could not pull her free, though at last he did snap her very arm from its socket, as if it were the branch of a tree. And yet no blood flowed from that wound. Well, he picked up that arm, his sister's arm. He went into the church and flung it down at his father's feet and said, "You have cursed too soon and too hard. There is my sister's arm." Well, the priest was horrified, but he could not undo the curse. And the next day, he tried to bury his daughter's arm. But the following day, the earth had thrown it back up. He again buried it, and the earth threw it back up. And a third time, he buried the arm, but the earth threw it back up. So at last, he made a special box and carried it back into the church where all could see. And as for the dancers, they continued singing and dancing, holding hands night and day, singing, "Why should we be still? Why shouldn't we go on?" And soon word of their plight spread throughout the land, And at last the king himself came to observe this. And they never tired, they never ate nor drank, but just sat, just stayed in the same place, singing and dancing. Their hair never grew, their nails never grew. Their clothes never frayed, and they could do nothing but sing and dance. Well, the king took pity on them, and he built a shelter over their heads so they might be sheltered from the rain and the snow. But each morning, the shelter would be torn to pieces, and at last they gave up trying to erect such protection. And at last, after a year had gone, the dancers suddenly flew apart. And they ran into the church, and they fell down and lay as if dead for 3 whole days. When 3 days had passed, all of the dancers, save the priest's own daughter, rose up and in one voice said, "You have cursed us, but you soon shall have your own reward." And with that they left. As for the priest's daughter, she never arose, for she was dead, and her father followed her to the grave soon after. The dancers themselves never spoke to one another again, although they each alone went on pilgrimage, went to Rome and to other places to see if the curse could be lifted from them. For you see, for as long as they lived, their hair never grew, their nails never grew, and they remained unchanging until their deaths. And that, my friends, is why when a priest tells you to be silent, you should always heed his warning, lest you too receive the curse of the dancers of Colbeck. Thank you.
Weep you no more, sad fountains. What needs you flow so fast? Look how the snowy mountains and sun doth gently waste. But my sons heavenly eyes view not your weeping. That now lie sleeping, that now lie sleeping, softly, softly, now softly lie sleeping. But my sons' heavenly eyes view not your weeping. That now lie sleeping, that now lie sleeping, softly, softly, now softly lie sleeping. Sleep is a reconciling, a rest that peace begets. Doth not the sunrise smiling, when fair at e'en he sets? Rest you then, rest, sad eyes, melt not in weeping, while she lies sleeping, while she lies sleeping, softly, softly, now softly lie sleeping. Rest you then, rest, sad eyes, melt not in weeping, while she lies sleeping, while she lies sleeping, softly, now softly lie sleeping.
One more song.
I am the sun, I am the rain, I am the weevil, I am the grain, I am the desert, I am the sea, I am the wildfire, I am the tree. I am all of these things, what begins and what is done. I am the voices of the many that are woven into one. I am the stillness, I am the wind, I am the foeman, I am the friend, I am the babe, I am the crone, I am the river, I am the stone. I am all of these lives, all who are born and all who die. I am the passing of a neon in the blinking of an eye. I am the fisher, I am the whale, I am the hammer, I am the nail, I am the earthworm, I am the bird, I am the drover, I am the herd. I am all of these memories, all that is built, all that's destroyed. I am all that can be known. I am the stars, I am the void. I am courage, I am fear. I am laughter, I am a tear. I am song, I chant my mother's name. The dawn of time my rhymes proclaim. I bellow pride, I whisper shame. I teach my people where we come from. I am the hero, I am the heel. I am the potter, I am the wheel. I am the hunter, I am the bear. I am the tortoise, I am the hare. I am all of these stories, I am the whole, I am a part. I am the dreaming of a mind, I am the drumming of a heart. I am the note, I am the word, I am the pen, I draw the sword.
Oh my God!
10 long months had the castle been besieged, and those within deprived of daily joys, of pleasures, company, safety itself. Within the walls came sickness, fear, and want. Physicians labored without respite. Guards fell every day to deadly, unseen darts that crossed the walls. Yet not the worst of pains these dangers were. The suffering of the mind tormented more. Though sun shone down, it seemed that necessary walls barred light and air. No breath, no inspiration could them pass. And those once counted wise stood with the rest, helpless to strike the unrelenting foe. One hope they had of succor. All did wait upon their allies' force, a powerful queen, far distant, hidden. What clamorous welcome they gave the messenger, whose trumpets sang across the foe's lines, heralding relief. Their marshal took fresh courage then and raised the standard, rallying all to one effort, to hold steadfast until their help arrived.
Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. An Icelandic Viking, a Hun and a Scot, sat round a fire and stirred a large pot. The Scot told them both how their water selkies pull all their victims down into the seas. Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. The Hun and the Viking scoffed at him aloud. Please don't tell us of this you are proud. What lies in your lands, foul creatures and fell, of evil that walks to you we well. Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. You don't know a thing of the evil that shreds the step of the Jiangxis, the step of the dead. It's a vampire form of the one you hold dear, draining the life force as ever draws near. Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. Our Skuggabalders, the Viking did cry, can kill any human with a look from their eye. They bid you to tell of their death to a cat, that feline's their father, so never do that. Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. A shadow fell over the fire just then. A voice of the Roos spoke up to the men. You don't know of creatures so dark and so vile. Our beasts will fill up your stomachs with bile. There's dragons and ghosts and of course Baba Yaga, whose bone house and skull fence are in so many sagas. If Skurzag don't kill you, they'll drive you insane, and with Bulk and Drakovic you're living in pain. Teeth, paws, gnashing of claws, our monsters are worse than yours. A Jiangxi, a Selkie, and a Skuggabalter sat with a dragon round a giant fire. They spoke of the humans and all of their schemes, blaming the monsters for their evil deeds. Teeth, hands, tearing of land, monsters are worse than yours. Swords, knives, shredding of lives, our monsters are much worse than yours. Thank you. Many people don't know the historical figure Anna Vasilyadovna of Kiev. She was a woman in the 11th century who started a school for women to read, to write, to do more than just the traditional work assigned to women. And this song is her story. Long on her knees she continues to pray. Princess of Kiev, she's foreseen this day. Her fate is to wed a man she knows not, a prince of the Greeks. She's resigned to her lot. Duty and honor are the lessons she's learned as the candle continues to burn. My prayer for this day is for guidance and strength, to be dutiful, loving, and steadfast I yearn. By your grace may I be a light for the way. May the candle continue to burn. The flame's light shows the words dark in her hand. Her Byzantine prince has been sent from his land. Her world's turned on end. She knows not what to do. Her life's single purpose has been torn in two. She reads over again the words to confirm as the candle continues to burn. My prayer for this day is for guidance and strength, to be dutiful, loving, and steadfast I yearn. By your grace may I be a light for the way. May the candle continue to burn. She finds new purpose, her heart's new delight, a school for young women to read and to write, Latin and Greek and practical skills. At the start of each day, praise each student's fulfilled. She tends to each one with care and concern as the candle continues to burn. My prayer for this day is for guidance and strength, to be dutiful, loving, and steadfast I yearn. By your grace may I be a light for the way. May the candle continue to burn. She's devoted her life to her students and God, and with her last breath she smiles at the thought. The last rites are given, the candles alight. I came to keep vigil with her through the night. I take up the prayer I so often have heard as the candle continues to burn. My prayer for this day is for guidance and strength, to be dutiful, loving, and steadfast I yearn. By your grace may I be a light for the way. May the candle continue to burn. By your grace may I be a light for the way. May the candle always burn.
This one is entitled The Dream Remembered, and as we are all apart and yet together, remember the dream is with us always. A new skald recites, her voice it falters, her words aren't quite clear as they will be anon. O new skald, though your voice it falters, say your words to me. A new jester stands, he'll bring joy and laughter with pratfalls and loss along the way. Come filled with mishaps and laughter, share your joy with me. A kind-hearted poet, timid in timber, but a voice that will stand firm someday. Raise your voice and share with the company, for your words, they shine with me. The art it is shared and the dream it is remembered in the sacred circles and lessons passed on. Raise your voice, new performer, for your light goes with me. This next piece is called Across the Wide Sea. It is about somebody I met who was in my life too briefly, but was a good friend as I spent with him. And it was from our society that I learned many lessons from him. 'Twas once in my youth when moonlight was fading, and with the dawn the traveler moved on. His home was not here, but where wind was waiting, his home, it is crossed the wide sea. He came to our harbor, a sailor, a spirit, for rest and reflection. He wouldn't stay long. He followed the wind, and where it had led him, far across the wide sea. He'd been many places and wandered with pilgrims' feet, offering wisdom he gave for free. His home it is cross the mountains and ages, and he went across the wide sea. He'd come as a song, too brief was our friendship. His sojourn restored him, his ship moved on. I think of him when the ships they are leaving, and I hope he is well on the sea.
Three pieces from Rabi'a al Aaliyya. 1. In my soul, there is a temple, a shrine, a mosque, a church where I kneel. Prayer should bring us to an altar where no walls or names exist. Is there not? A region of love where the sovereignty is illumined nothing, where ecstasy gets poured into itself and becomes lost, where the wing is fully alive but has no mind or body. In my soul, there is a temple, a shrine, a mosque, a church that dissolve in God. Two. Ironic, but one of the most intimate acts of our body is death. So beautiful appeared my death, knowing who then I would kiss. I died 1,000 times before I died. Die before you die, said the Prophet Muhammad. Have wings that feared ever touched the sun? I was born when all I once feared, I could love. 3. If I adore you out of fear of hell, burn me in hell. If I adore you out of desire for paradise, lock me out of paradise. But if I adore you for you yourself alone, do not deny me your eternal beauty. Do not deny me your eternal beauty.
Thank you. Thank you.
You may know that the military conquest of Alexander ended in India. Fortunately, that was not the only interaction with the Greeks, between Greeks and the various cultures of India of the day. Art, literature, even probably music got shared between the two quite a bit And there is ample evidence in the surviving works of the wonderful changes and that exchange of ideas created on both sides. One of the things that, not surprisingly, got shared were stories. Some of those stories went one way, some went another, some bounced between the two. While I do not know for certain that this particular story is one of those, I do know that others of in its collection did, so I think it's a pretty safe bet. This is one of Aesop's tales. A father and son took their donkey with them to market, where they assuredly would have need of him, transporting them on the way there and transporting cargo on the way back. And they started off from their small farm, heading for the city, heading for the market. And all along the road, they met people going both directions, some slower, some faster. And thinking that he would be considerate, the man took his young son and he put his son on the donkey and he led the donkey down the road. And the people they would pass began more and more to comment. Look at the way that boy lords it over his father, riding so high, his head above. What uncaring cruelness not to allow his father the honor of a ride. Now, this happened enough times that the father decided that, maybe that there was a point to this. And so he took the little boy and he put him at the head of the donkey and the father rode. And they had not gone terribly far when comments from the passers-by came to their ears again. Oh, look how cruel that man is, making his poor son lead this donkey. And oh, just can you imagine the scandal? And the man riding along thought, they might have a point. So he invited his son up in front of him, and he took the donkey's lead and they rode along. And eventually word came to their ears as people traveling both with them and along the road began to exchange comments about, oh, look at that poor donkey carrying all that weight. Oh, it must really be straining. Well, the city was not far, but they thought, well, we should make the best impression. And then the critical moment came when the passers-by said, oh, look, why that poor donkey has probably been serving them for years. They should carry the donkey. And the man thought about this, and he looked at his son, shrugged, and they got off. And with the son bearing a little weight at the rear, he hoisted himself underneath the donkey, lifted, and began carrying tragic step, trudging into the city, only to come to a bridge leading to the center of town over a river. And the poor donkey had been having a pretty hard time of it as it was. And crossing this bridge and the water on the sides was too much for it. And braying loudly, it struggled free and fell over the side into the river and swam away, never to be seen by them again. So there they were at the city, near the market, having lost the donkey and had to carry their own purchases back, what there may have been of them. So remember, beware what attention you pay to the braes of the people around you. Thank you.
If words would suffice, I'd use them over and over, loving every vowel, looking forward to the next consonant as if simple repetition could capture each exquisite moment. Memory's storm cloud raining thunderbolts upon my oceans. Words, infinite words pouring down, each drop a deluge of meaning, mine to recite again and again until my face is blue and I am out of breath. Yet no words can suffice, no mere series of letter contain why I make machines sing, filling in vain this endless void within, and on my skin bear dark sea shades of bitter root grind. Thank you. And now, thank you.
I'm starting with a piece called La Rosa in Florece, alternately known as Los Bilbilicos. It is a Ladino song, which is my specialty. If you know me, you probably know that. Ladino is a Judeo-Spanish language that developed in Moorish Spain. This particular song, we don't actually have any evidence for its provenance. It may be period, it may not be. We don't know for sure. Yeah, I'll just go right ahead and sing it. La Rosa in Florece. La rosa florece en el mes de mayo. La rosa florece en el mes de mayo. Mina shuma se escurece, su poder. Los bíblicos cantan que suspiros de amor. Los bíblicos cantan que suspiros de amor y la pasión me mata, muchigo de dolor y la pasión me mata, muchigo de dolor. Mas presto ven Palamba, mas presto ven a mí, mas presto ven Palamba, mas presto ven a mí, mas presto tú, mi alma, que yo me voy morir, mas presto tú, mi alma, y yo me voy morir. Thank you. I usually tell you what the song is about before, but I just forgot to that time. That is a song about dying of love. When I do a concert at Kensick, I call it Songs of Sorrow because Ladino music is just so passionately sad most of the time. There's fun songs too, but there's more sad songs, just way more sad songs. All right, I'm going to do something with accompaniment, which I didn't sound check earlier, so hopefully it'll work out all right. This is an Italian song, a late period Italian song by a man named Giulio Caccini. And I never get to sing this because someone else is always singing this song, so you've probably heard it before. It's called Amarilli Mia Bella, and since no one else sang it today, I'm taking advantage and singing it. Once I turn my accompaniment on. Ha ha! All right, here we go. Amarilli mia bella, non credo del mio cor, dolce deseo d'esser tu, l'amor mio. Credo The first song I sang you in Ladino was what they call Western style Ladino music, which means it sort of conforms to European ideas of song form. But Ladino music in period had two major types. The other type was what's called Eastern Ladino music, which is closer to Arabic classical music. It's highly improvisational. If you've heard me sing this before, you didn't hear it the way I will sing it today because it's different every single time. And this particular song, I think the women will particularly appreciate the meaning of this song. This song starts out as a lullaby where a mother is rocking her baby and saying, you know, you're going to grow up and have a store and have a wonderful life, and your father loves you so much. And then as the store comes on, as the verses progress, the father comes home, but I guess he came home a little later than he was supposed to. And he knocks on the door and she won't let him in because he says, well, I've been out plowing the fields all day and I'm exhausted. And she says, you have not been plowing the fields. You have been plowing your girlfriend. And I'm not letting you in the house. And the end of the song is him begging to be let in and her keeping him locked out. So it's called Nani Nani, and it is the least lullaby-like lullaby I have ever heard. All right. Also, it starts on a quarter tone, and I don't have an instrument that plays a quarter tone, so I have to find that. Wait. There we are. Nani, 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 nani kerei el hijo de la madre, me chico se haga grande. Ay, ay, dormite, mi alma dormite, mi vida, que tu padre viene. Ay, habría con mucha alegría. Ay, abrimesh la puerta, abrimesh mida, ada, que vengo muy cansado de agarrar la suerte. Ay, l'abrir no vos avrà, no venís cansado, sino que venís de donde muevo amor. Nani, 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 nani. Thank you. That's it for me.
If I had the wings of an eagle, I'd stretch them out wide and I'd fly far over the rivers and meadows to the place where the lake meets the sky, to the place where the lake meets the sky, to the place where the lake meets the sky, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh. My earliest memories are golden as a dandelion field in July, a childhood of laughter and daydreams, of the place where the lake meets the sky, of the place where the lake meets the sky, of the place where the lake meets the sky, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh. But life can be fickle and cruel, and I had to say my goodbye to my childhood home close to the water, and the place where the lake meets the sky, and the place where the lake meets the sky, and the place where the lake meets the sky, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh. So wide is the distance between us, and so long the years passing by, yet ever I dream of returning to the place where the lake meets the sky, to the place where the lake meets the sky, to the place where the lake meets the sky, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh. I live out my days near the water, be buried there after I die, for I know the closest to heaven is the place where the lake meets the sky, is the place where the lake meets the sky, is the place where the lake meets the sky, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh, where the endless waves flash in the sunlight and the wind over water does sigh. For the love of a rose I stand, I fight, proudly swear upon my name to uphold the right. For the honor of a rose so strong and bright, heavy is the burden, but the rose makes it light. For the love of the dream I stand, I fight, proudly swear upon my name to uphold the right. For the honor of the dream so strong and bright, heavy is the burden, but the dream makes it light. For the love of this land I stand, I fight, proudly swear upon my name to uphold the right. For the honor of this land so strong and bright, heavy this land makes it light. For the love of my people, I will stand, I will fight, proudly swear upon my name to uphold the right. For the honor of my people, so strong and bright. Heavy is the burden, but together it is light. Like fireflies in the twilight, gold as the sunlight on high, the sparks arise from our bonfire to light the stars in the sky. The fire burning so brightly, warm as a long summer day, it calls us all in the darkness, while it asks us to stay. The music of the cicadas, the whispering of the breeze, a gentle welcome are sending beneath the green of the trees. So let us gather together. Too long have we been apart, united all in our purpose, the song that lives in our hearts, our voices joining in chorus, the notes that ring clear and true, the circle ever unbroken. I pass the fire on to you.